Hey, Sven here. You simply move a card with an idea on your Trello board to the next column, and automatically a social media post is created with text and with an image. And then you can review it and move it again to the next column, and then this social media post appears on your LinkedIn, on your Instagram, on your Facebook, whichever platform you want to use. And I do all of this with Make, which of course helps you to significantly speed up and simplify your social media planning and also the social media implementation. And how the whole thing works, I'll show you in this video. Just stay tuned, then you can basically follow along, and in the end you'll have a small social media system. If this isn't comprehensive enough for you, I'll also link our big content marketing machine here, which can take everything to a whole new level. Just take a look and consider what works best for your social media activity. I'm Sven, I'm an entrepreneur, and I've been involved with quality and process optimization for over 33 years, not just in business, but in all areas of life. And much of what I know, I've learned through experience, through trial and error, and I know what really works. With my videos, I want to show you how you can use intelligent process automation profitably for yourself and your business. And if you're not sure where to start, or if you don't understand something, just book a free call with me. You'll find the link for that below the video. So let's get started now. I've set up a Trello board here. The free version is perfectly sufficient for this. That means you don't have to buy anything at all for this. And I've set up a few columns here: idea, create, ready, post, done. I've just made up this process for now, and here I can collect ideas. Where do the ideas come from? Either from your own head, or you have a topic and let ChatGPT give you some ideas. Then there's this create column. That means if I take an idea and move it to create, it means attention. Now a social media post should be generated from it. For that I use Make, and once this post has been generated, the card is automatically moved to the ready column. And then I can take a look at the content here. Then I take the card, move it to post, and then it gets published on my social media profile. In my specific example here, I used Instagram, but you may have already seen other videos of mine where I've covered all sorts of different platforms. And yes, I've set up how the whole thing works here in a scenario like this. So I'll just walk you through it here first. In Trello, there's the option to use this Watch Activities module. This module reacts to all activities that happen on a Trello board, and you then have to evaluate them accordingly. And then I've just carried out these two steps. So first, when the card is moved to create, the post is written, an image prompt is created, then the image is generated using a sub-scenario, then the URL of this image is added to the card, and then the card is moved to the ready column. And then I can take a look at it, and when I move the card to the post column, then we fetch the data here, post it on Instagram, and then move it over. So it's actually quite simple, but this basic structure helps you to make it much more complex if you want, because you might want to add some other activities in between. Trello has a really cool integration with Make, but it's not exactly straightforward because it's huge. It's really extensive. And just when you go in here and look at all the Trello functions, it really goes on for pages. There are, I don't know, 40, 50 of them or something like that. And that's why you really need to know exactly which ones you're using or how the logic works. But it's not hard to understand, because you can work with Trello very easily and quickly, and then you can always see what happens. And the first thing is watch card activities. And if I just take a closer look at this right here, then I'll just go ahead and create a new webhook, and I'll just call it pick Trello update cards, like this. And which object do I want to track? I want to track an entire board, specifically the social media posts board. That's this one here. And then I'll select here watch cards, movements. So that means basically I just want to monitor when a card is moved. The core issue here, well, issue isn't really the right word, but if you select all activities here, you can see add attachment to cart, add checklist to cart, and so on. That means for every single event, your scenario will be triggered, which each time also costs at least one operation. And that's why it makes sense to consider which events you actually want to receive at all. And in my specific case, it's only about the update card event. That's why I only select this event. And then the number of triggers isn't as extreme as it would be if I did something every time anything happens on this board. There are also a few other card functions like create card, copy comment card, and so on. But in the end, what matters to me is that whenever the card is moved, I want to react. Yes, and that's why this is the right webhook for me to use here. I don't need the address or anything like that because it's already connected to Trello. And the moment an activity happens in Trello, this webhook is triggered and I can respond accordingly here. So if I click on run once here, again, you can see that, let me move myself over. You can see that the scenario is now waiting. And now we'll just go over to this board. And I have a card here called something like Real Workplace Superhero and so on. It's a pity that life doesn't have an undo button. And now I take this card and move it over here to create, and that should now trigger the event, which I can then immediately process in my scenario. So I'm going to let go of it now. Then we'll go right over here. You can see it's already running. That means the LinkedIn post is now being written. It's already done. Now the image prompt is being generated. The image creation, I'll get back to that in a moment, takes a bit longer. That's why we'll take a short break. All right, and the image has been created. The URL that I got back here is added to the card as an attachment. You can see here, add attachment, and the card is moved to the ready column. So what exactly happened here? So the LinkedIn post was written. Then what else could we maybe quickly add to the prompt here? I used 4.1 Mini for this. I said you are a copywriter. Then here's the task. You get an idea for a social media post, write an entertaining social media post based on the idea and so on. And keep in mind that an image will also be created for it later. Then something like an intro, 2 short paragraphs, no call to action, and also a few emojis. So, and then this text here was generated. Then I used this text to generate an image prompt from it. That means here I again wrote a short prompt with ChatGPT. You receive a social media post, analyze it, and create a photorealistic image. Then here are a few more rules so that it's clear how it should look and that I only want a prompt as the result with no additional information. Then I call up this sub-scenario, and this sub-scenario can be found here. And this sub-scenario, you may have already seen it in other videos, or you can also watch it in my GPT to image to video video. What happens here? Here I first start by setting a few variables. And these variables are so that I make the image prompt secure. That means I remove any special characters here, then I can select the image format. I'll get back to that in a moment, namely 11916. And those are the parameters that ChatGPT needs. And down here, I also have my OpenAI key, which is cut off here, so I don't have to delete it afterwards. That's pretty convenient. So then I select the correct API endpoint. That's right here, Vone Images Generations. It's a post method. Then I need the OpenAI key here, and down here this JSON document to create the image. This is the model we're using. This is the prompt, which has been improved here or secured. More precisely, we want to create an image. The output is JPEG, the default is PNG, but that currently doesn't work with Instagram. And then also the image format, past response must be enabled. And then as a result, I get a base64 JSON document, and I then convert that into a JPEG using this topinary function with the base64 parameter. And here I use this temporary storage from Zero Code Kit, where I can upload the image and then get a URL. And I then return this URL. How does this work here? In this sub-scenario, we have an image prompt and an image format. That means this is the prompt that is used to generate the image. We already set that up above, and the image format is a selection between 1, 16, 9 or 9, 16 using a select menu, and then it gets converted and executed accordingly here. The URL is returned and it ends up here again as the result. Yes, and this call, we can take another look at it now. When I select this scenario here, this sub-scenario module recognizes that I need an image prompt. That is then the result from here, and I can select the image format here, and right now I have set it to 1, 1. And I wait until the scenario has finished running. That's why I had to pause earlier, because it takes about a minute for the image to be generated. Then add URL to card. That means I select the card ID not by choosing it here, but by using the one I received earlier from the event. Then I specify what I want to attach there, the URL. That's the result from this sub-scenario. Here I still have PNG written here. So in this case, I would need to write JPEG instead, but that's not really important since in the end, it's just about the format. And then I automatically move this card to the ready column. Again here, card ID, I don't need to rename it. And then I just take this text that's supposed to be posted and add it as the new description. And it should be moved to a board with a different list. Of course, the board doesn't change, it stays the same, and the list is then ready. So, and now the card has actually been moved into this column. If I open it now, I see, aha, this is the text that was created here. Here is the image that we received as an attachment, and now I can check it. And theoretically, I could still change the text here if I don't like it. And if I'm satisfied with it, yeah, what do I do then? Then I take the card and move it to the post column. And now you can already see the lower path has been selected. That means the card's data was fetched here. Then it was posted on Instagram and moved to done. Let's take a look at the post first. So now I'll go to my Instagram and refresh it. And now we can see it here. Okay, this is the image. And here's the corresponding text that was generated. So I've actually managed to build my social media system in a way simply by moving these Trello cards around. And now let's take a look at this second path. What happened here specifically with these card activities, or rather watch activities. There, a result comes back that is especially relevant for us here in the action section. And here we can see now, aha, this event update card. So here is the event that I want to monitor. And so, for example, if you are monitoring always react whenever an attachment has been added to a card, then the corresponding event would appear here. And here in data, you'll find the relevant data. So, for example, since this is an update card event, you'll see things like list before and list after here. And this list after is what was relevant for us here. So if after the event, the column lists is the column in Trello post, then I want to react accordingly. And that's exactly what I did here in this filter, right? So if the action data list after processing is specifically referring to the post column, which contains the relevant post action data, then you should proceed to go through this filter step as described. And now first you have to fetch the data from this card. Not all the data is included here, there's just a card ID, and I think the title is also there. But to get all the details, I have to use this getCard function. Then use this card ID, which we can find here in ... Where is it? Data, card, green, no. Wait a second, action data here, action data card. And that's where the card ID is. The name is also there, but not the description. And that's why I have to use this getCard function to fetch the data. And then I get all the details, which I can now use here on Instagram, for example. So that means, again, down here we can see there's the description. Yes, that's the long text now. That's what I'm using here. And somewhere here in the attachments, the URL should also be there. Wait, where do I find it now? Attachments. Trello No, it's not there either. So you can see it's really not that easy with all this extensive data I have here in Trello to find the right spot. And here I have it now. So there's attachments, which is an array because there could be multiple attachments. And here you can now find this URL. Yes, you can see it, Zero Code Kit and so on. And that's the URL that we're actually going to use here. Yes, and then as you saw, it gets posted to Instagram, and in the end I move the card to done, and then it's finished. Yes, so the card should actually be back there now. Exactly, there it is. And yes, this way you can build a social media system for yourself with very simple means and basically almost for free. The free version of Trello is sufficient. The free version of Make is also enough, as long as you don't do too much. And what other tools do we have? We have a bit of ChatGPT, but that only costs a few cents, and the image generation basically as well. Otherwise, there are no costs for your social media system here. Have fun with it, and maybe you have some great ideas on how you could further expand such a Trello scenario. And yes, I'm really looking forward to your comments. See you next time. Bye.